Kevin Bohannon. Yeah, I also remember him talking about marijuana. And I was a very innocent kid, and I didn't know anything. And I remember them talking about grass, and I had thought, well, why would people smoke grass? I don't understand. Like it's just
This was
grass.
in fifth or sixth grade.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Same.
Grant Foreman Elementary. It's probably sixth grade. I remember being out there and
Wow.
the grass. I just was confused about people smoking grass. So that I mean, I can tell you, Kevin came from a family, you know, and yeah,
I didn't see marijuana till I was a senior, I don't think.
yeah.
And I thought the guys who had it were like so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Yeah.
just being shook by seeing that. Yeah, we didn't have that really in my little town.
Nancy Reagan really did one over on us. She lumped all that stuff together, and
The teachers,
marijuana.
yeah, the teachers. I remember thinking marijuana was a strong hallucinogen and it's gonna make you like. I basically thought it was acid.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember.
Because
I remember.
people that time everything there was no nuance. Like drugs are bad, right?
Yeah,
It's this is good. There was not a lot of, well, maybe marijuana is not
yeah,
the same as meth or whatever, heroin or acid. It's maybe not. Now these
yeah.
days, this high powered stuff, it can kind of take you to places, I think. But back
I do
then,
remember the first time. I do remember the first time I got high, and it was one hell of an experience.
uh-huh.
So it did end up kind of fulfilling its my
Okay.
my belief when I was in like junior high or high school. I just remember staring at people's. I was at this party and I remember staring at people's shoes, listening to the Doors,
uh-huh.
and I was not there.
Mhm.
I was on planet Brandon's High.
Yeah.
I was like zoned. I wish I could have seen me. I would have looked so stupid.
Young Stone and Brandon. How old were you?
um, 18, 19.
Okay.
Either I was probably a sophomore in college at that time. I don't think my freshman year I touched it, and then my sophomore. I don't remember the first time I smoked it, but that might
Mhm.
have been it. And if not that, then that was like the second time, and I got really. I only probably had one hit, I mean,
Yeah.
but it just. I remember the Doors were like, "This is a new level of perception, right?" Which is
Yeah. Wait, you
was
mean the band, The
perception. That's how they
Doors?
got their name.
You're talking about like the band? You're listening to the Doors? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Doors
yeah. The
open.
Doors were playing.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, they
that
break on
too,
through
and
the
that's
other
funny because
side.
that's how the Doors got their name. The Doors of Perception.
Ah,
It's a book
duh.
by it's a book by the guy who wrote Brave New World. I don't know why I can't think of his
Yeah,
name now.
no,
But the guy who wrote Brave New World, he wrote The Doors of Perception, and that's how the Doors got their name.
that
They
makes
took that
sense.
from
Okay.
that book.
Okay. I remember the first time I got high, it was because I was a real square kid, and I think I was freshman or sophomore. There's this girl who sang, and I was like, I play the guitar, you sing, I write some poetry, maybe we can, make some music. So at some point, and she was real cute. She invited me
Cool.
over to her place. I brought my guitar.
Nice.
We're
I
hanging
like that.
out, and all of a sudden, there's a ring at the door, or doorbell. The doorbell rings, and she goes and answers it, and it was some dude bringing her weed. And
And she
I'm
was
just
a
thinking
freshman or sophomore in high school?
something like, no, 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 sorry, college. This is college.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
college. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this dude gives her, brings her weed, and from that point forward, I can tell whatever, no matter what we're doing with the guitar, with music, her brain is just thinking about the weed, thinking about the weed. She just wants to get high. So at some point, she says, "Do you mind if I smoke?" It's like, yeah, sure. And I'm thinking, that weed and alcohol kind of create the same effect with people. They lower inhibitions, and that might be my door into, something, because I'm there for the
Are
music,
you
but
are, are you in her dorm or in her house or where are you?
she has an apartment. So this is a standalone, like she's got her own place, just us. And so, and I've never smoked before, and she can't believe, and she couldn't believe that a black guy had never smoked weed. It was very, like, in her head, black guys listened to Outkast and smoked weed, right? Because I remember us listening
And
to Outkast.
she was a white girl?
Yeah, yeah. And but anyway, so of course, she smokes and I take a hit or two, and it just chills me out. It's nothing crazy, but chills me out. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. At any minute, we're gonna, there's gonna be maybe some sparks. And she just says, I'm kind of tired, so I'm just gonna go to sleep. So just hang out as long as you want, but I'll see you later. And
Wow.
she gets me high, and it just but leaves me to just sit in the living room. And I'm like, okay, I guess the weed and booze don't have the same effect on women. And there's another little thing that even to this day, it still trips me out that this is the thing, because it was recurring. Back then, I wore contacts. And somehow I scratched my eye. I don't know, just I was itching my eye or something. And I felt like my contact had been scratched. And the whole, like I drove home, the drive home, I felt like my contact was scratched. I got home, took it out, whatever, and I still felt that way. And down the line, when I'd smoke weed again, not that I did a lot, but here and there, I'd have that same feeling. I'd feel like it would,
Mm,
I feel like my eye was scratched. It was the weirdest kind of
mm.
thing. But anyway, that aside, I got high and thought
That's
I
too
was
bad.
good.
Your first time had a anticlimactic.
In every possible way. Yeah.
Story.
There was no music made, there was no love made, there was no, hey, I got you, just sleep, nothing. It was just, I'm out. Good luck. Good luck getting home.
You're probably like, marijuana sucks, man.
It, yeah, I was not, I mean, it did not open the doors to a marijuana habit. It definitely,
You should have turned on the doors and looked at people's shoes.
I should have. Yeah.
I remember that party I was at. It was in a garage, and I think we went to a party in like Forest Lake, which is like it's like an hour north of the Twin Cities. So you're getting into like
Damn.
you're gonna listen to some country music stations up
I
there,
got you.
and I don't know who exactly lived. I can't remember, but um, whatever. That's really not that relevant. What was important is that the people, like, there was a garage and then there was like a little side room in the garage, and that's where they were smoking weed. And it was a young college couple.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they found out I hadn't smoked weed before, and they were so excited to get me high. Like, you haven't smoked weed before? Get over here. Like,
Yeah.
they really wanted to, pop my cherry or whatever. Like,
uh,
and I've always just been struck by that. Like, man, what? Yeah, you like being somebody's first. You like watching someone
yeah.
experience it for the first time. You like, I don't know, but I remember how eager they were to get me high that my first time.
Yeah. Is there something? I mean, because that's a very specific kind of move to try to get someone. Because okay, I was thinking, I've never tried to convince somebody to smoke, get drunk with me, or this, that. Not that I can think of, But I do try to get people to listen to music I like or some song I like because I think they might like it. But I don't really push. Like even at a restaurant, if you don't like something, I'm not trying to say, no, man, you got to try this. I figure if you want to try it, you'll try it. Do you
People push art. People push art a lot on people. I have a buddy who's like, you've got to watch Cobra Kai. You've got to watch that
Yeah,
show.
I do
It's,
that. Yeah.
dude, I'm telling you, I will buy you a subscription to whatever so
Yeah.
you can watch. Like, people push their art a lot. Um,
Yeah. I
and
do that.
I don't think it's so much about, I want you to enjoy it. I think it's about, I love it and I identify with it and I want someone on my team to love it too. Something like that.
I think my draw is I genuinely just want to enjoy something with something with someone. And
Uh,
yeah. So I've got some friends of mine. I'm always recommending TV shows to, and they watch most of them, and we can talk about it. And also, there's some shows where the characters are so like creative and whatever. I just kind of just am so impressed by the work, that I want people to be able to
sure.
appreciate it. But anyway,
Okay. So it's for you,
yeah,
it's a more selfless
yeah.
recommendation.
This is
I want this
great.
person to enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so this has been a good rambling but entertaining beginning to this. I like this. This actually feels
We'll get to it.
more like our like just a normal conversation between us. It's not really a
We'll get
pod or a
to it.
video pod. This is literally just a conversation. I used to love Twitter. I used to love Twitter, especially during NBA season, like the playoffs, whatever, because NBA Twitter is really funny. But what I found is that NBA Twitter is not quite as funny for me anymore because it's just whatever. It's not as funny. But and the politics, I don't really need it anymore. I started following too many just pretty girls, just because they were pretty, not because they actually were whatever. It's just that's my bad. I don't have as many people that are interesting. And then what I think really killed my Twitter, me and Twitter, why I had to kind of do a self-imposed ban, is OnlyFans, man. Every girl on there that's got a pretty smile is on got an OnlyFans account. Have you been down the OnlyFans rabbit hole? You know what OnlyFans? You know OnlyFans?
I know what it is. I'm curious what you're about to say.
Yeah, what
Keep
I'm about to
going.
say is brutally honest. Like, there's free porn by strangers that you can get at any time, but then there's porn you pay for because it's somebody you kind
Yeah,
of
that's on.
followed. And I would just follow some cute girl and realize, oh, she got OnlyFans. And there's something about you see somebody on your feed every day, like, I kind of want to see what. So I had a couple. I threw a little bit of cash in different directions. Then got there. I was like, no, actually, this is too. I feel like I know this person. Now I just feel like a perv. There's something that
Which
needs
is
to be
what the draw
anonymous.
was, right?
What's that?
Which is what the draw was, right?
Yeah, the draw ended up being the thing I didn't like. You need some I mean, porn should be impersonal, I think, for me. I don't need to know the person's story, or they had a bad day at work and now I'm watching them do, filthy things. Like, that somehow just threw me off. So, but I still would find the temptation because, pretty face, nice rack. That's kind of my jam. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I realized Twitter for me was just is a no-go zone, and there's nothing I'm gaining off of Twitter. So,
Well, then how the hell can you be on Instagram?
well, Instagram, I wouldn't be on Instagram if it wasn't for work stuff, because all the different videos and stuff I do. So I kind of need to be on there, but I've also cut back on that because while it's on the OnlyFans, well, I don't follow. I don't know. It's just different. I don't stay on Instagram too long. I'll scroll through a little bit. Twitter, I actually would engage because I'm reading, people are telling jokes. Instagram is kind of boring in a way where it's just like, oh, okay, there's somebody taking a selfie, or there's somebody with a friend, or cheers and a drink. It's like, okay, it's cool, but it's kind of boring to me because I'm interested in less shiny things. Whatever.
Except for shiny women.
Except for shiny women on OnlyFans. Yeah. OnlyFans has to be. Can you buy stock in OnlyFans? I mean, that thing between Zoom and OnlyFans, those two things, the pandemic.
Zoom is public. I don't know who owns OnlyFans, if it's a private company or if it were bought by. I mean, OnlyFans. I wouldn't be surprised if they were bought by one of those porn empires like that own Pornhub and YouPorn and those places.
It's got me the amount of, and it's a trip because
I promise you they were approached for a buyout. I can almost promise you they were. And then it's whether they decided to do it or not. But
I've always wondered, and this isn't the direction I really plan to take this, but I guess it's, we're here. I always knew that, you see porn and you see, some just girls somehow get into porn. Usually it's probably you strip a little bit and then you realize the money's good. And then you're already kind of get the door, you go through and you get into porn. It's like, whatever, I get it. But OnlyFans, it's just kind of I mean, maybe I just don't understand the process, but it almost feels like some girl has just been posting selfies for a year and then thinks, oh, well, I guess I can, people pay me $15 for a subscription. I'll just put my shit out there, which kind of seems crazy that you just kind of go for, but I guess that's whatever. How much would it take for you to have an OnlyFans page, for you to be an OnlyFans producer, like for you to have an account?
For me to give content or to buy content?
No. For you to give content, how much money would you need to make annually for you to put out a video a week?
Dude, I couldn't live with myself doing
there's
that.
There's a number out there.
I've got a far different stance than you on this whole thing. I've become quite anti-porn in general.
Yeah.
I find it all to be almost inherently across the board exploitative, particularly to women. And I don't say that as like a white knight. I don't say that as like trying to like save women. I've heard enough stories and I know enough now to know that it's a very predatory industry. Yeah. And for the most part, I'm sure there are some women that do it happily, but I think I'm just of the belief that 95% of the women are not happy doing it. And if they can fool themselves for a while, but it just doesn't feel like something, or men, people want a committed, loving relationship deep down. And so too, I find that to consume it is to encourage life-destroying or life stunting
Yeah.
behavior. And then it's also poison for me. It's just not a good.
Mhm.
I mean, just ask yourself, would you ever want your girlfriend to have such an account? And some guys say they don't mind, but again, I don't know.
A lot of
I think
no,
I don't see it compatible with a really healthy life, either consuming it or producing it. So I just don't. I think it's bad across the board. I think these days there's a lot more predators out there
mhm,
in general, and we're in a time in society where there's less structure,
yeah,
right? Fewer people are religious. Fewer people are from two-parent families, and there's nothing inherently wrong with not being religious, with having one or different kinds of families. There's nothing inherently wrong with any of that, although the studies show that it's better to have structure.
yeah, yeah,
But if you lack structure in any way, then you're gonna like be a bit lost, and you're gonna look for it. You're gonna look for it where you belong.
mhm,
And there's people out there that are so happy to prey on these
mhm.
lost people, and I think a lot of these women that go on OnlyFans are lost, and it's
Well,
just
see,
I see it's all very tragic.
here's where I would kind of
And the
count like
guys that pay it's sad too.
the counter, yeah, I agree. The opinion,
No offense.
yeah, well, it is what it is. But what I think the big difference between the two, between just Pornhub or there's just whatever versus OnlyFans, is that OnlyFans you just do it. There's no middleman.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
no there's
it's
no
more
dude.
empowering. Yeah,
There's no guy taking a cut. I mean, OnlyFans takes a cut, but not like that. It's just, and
not
that's what I
pimpish.
think
Yeah.
tripped me out is I just see someone who's just kind of this girl who just seems like a nice girl just living a life, and she decides, hey, I want to just make this money, and they don't seem like they feel that bad about it. It's just kind of a job, and it's almost the purest version of that. There's not somebody else exploiting you. You're making a decision as an adult to do this thing.
Totally. I wouldn't shut it down. I'm not like a
Yeah,
Puritan. I would
yeah,
never say not
yeah.
don't make it allowed. I don't. Yeah, the less of it in my life, the happier I am.
I get it, and I think it's something that it's all kind of an individual choice. And there's times when I've just kind of like you, I've just kind of gone away from it. There's times it's been a regular part of my life, and both
Mhm.
sides kind of. I'm probably the happiest when there's a little bit of it, not too
Mhm.
much and not none, and then also too just being a single
Mhm.
guy. What you gonna
Mhm.
do, right? I don't. Not all of us can be in a nice, happy relationship. Like some of us, like yeah. But anyway, be okay. The outline we had has just been shot to shit.